Adastra is a sci-fi political adventure with cosmic horror elements and gay romance intended for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Previously on Adastra.
I didn't know your species wasn't part of the Alexios. It's very illegal to make first contact without authorization from a parent. Parent? The authorities of the galaxy. There are 3 levels in the Alexios. At the very top are the parents. They arrive from beyond our galaxy to spread their culture here. Then there are the siblings. That's what my species is a part of. The galaxy was scoped out by the parents at the very start to find the most intelligent and capable species. They each selected one, and we were the ones chosen and uplifted by the Romanos. From then on, it has been our mission to increase intelligence in promising species, and to teach them our philosophy and culture, to uplift.
If he thinks he's going to get away with it.
I freeze up, staring at him wide-eyed. Then he screeches, making me jump back in shock.
Oh, gods! Oedipal, what is it? Cato, help! Come quick!
Finally, Cassius' little dance of terror ends with him sprinting to my left and out of the room.
What happened?
Cassius came in and saw me.
You let him see you?
No, he just came in. Where were you?
Meditating. I left a message. Where did he go?
Cassius? He just ran off. From around the corner comes Cassius, but he's hiding behind someone else. Another wolf. They both stop in the doorway as the larger wolf takes in both Amicus and I.
Amicus, what are you doing with it? Step away.
Amicus clears his throat.
Cassius, Cato.
He nods to each of them in turn.
This is my pet, Marco.
Cassius's mouth falls open. The other wolf, Cato, seems to shift a bit at that.
Is this where you were the past 2 days, Amicus?
Amicus's arm tightens a bit around my shoulders, drawing me in closer.
Yes. And that's where you took your father's ship? Yes.
Where did it come from?
Amicus rubs my arm.
He came from far away. Is he a child? Yes.
What? He can't just take someone else's child. Can he?
We will discuss this over breakfast, Amicus. Get dressed and bring the creature with you, as long as he's safe. Of course.
I don't know what you're planning with that thing, Amicus, but if I know you, it's going to be incredibly stupid.
I watch Cassius's tail swish out of sight behind the doorway. Amicus lets out a huge sigh, and I feel his chest deflate against my shoulder.
Damn it.
You really didn't think all of this through, did you?
Well, if we're going to pass you off as a pet, then I should probably get you familiar with your duties.
My duties?
I understand your frustration, but we need to do this right if we want things to go as smoothly as possible. You don't have to do anything, but it will help you blend in better.
I roll my eyes and lean back on my hands, looking up at Amicus. All right, what do I do? Amicus pauses, frowning.
Now, I know you won't like it, but you're going to have to feign some ignorance in front of the others.
How so?
Well, you're going to need to act a bit dumb.
And how do I do that? Amicus shrugs.
I don't know. Give them vacant stares, incoherent mumbles, act like you can't grasp more complex matters. The whole point is to make it seem like you're a typical child.
I don't like it, but I don't want to have anything to do with those aliens. So if it'll make them leave me alone... All right. Amicus lets out a breath, clearly relieved.
Thank you, Marco. This may not always have to be the case, but for now we need to play on the safe side of things. Just let me do all the talking.
You got it. Sitting on the floor in front of Cassius's bed is a creature that I've never seen before. It's definitely not a wolf, more feline-like. Cassius has his paw on its head, idly scratching it while he listens to whatever Cato is saying.
You're late.
And good morning to you, Cass. And to you, Cato. Alexios.
Amicus turns to Cato and the small cat creature, bowing to both of them.
Good morning.
Morning, Amicus.
Could you get some more of the azure, Marco?
Cassius glares at Amicus, and I glare at the wine. I try to remind myself that this is just to help get me home. My fingers twitch, then I feel the goblet slip out of my hand, watching as it seems to fall in slow motion onto its side on the bed. The wine shoots out in a red gush, splashing across Amicus's lighter furred front. The wolf gasps, sitting up suddenly as the wine pours down his chest and stomach and onto his pants.
Oh, damn.
Maybe there's a reason so few have ventured out to meet them, Amicus.
I see Alex staring at me, but when I meet eyes with him, he looks down.
Oh, what are you doing, Amicus?
What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm cleaning up the mess.
Amicus growls at Cassius, continuing to pat himself down.
Oh, dear gods. You really don't know how to do this. Punish it.
Cassius lazily flops his paw in the air in a slapping motion. I snap my gaze to Amicus, glaring again.
What? No. I can't do that.
Why not?
It's in the contract. No physical punishments, just like Alexios's.
What?
You heard me.
Alexios is a sibling. It's barely even a child.
He is mine, and none of your business.
Punishment is the only way to teach the lesser species, Amicus.
He looks at me.
You, creature, up. I'll hit you instead.
Cassius!
I jump. So does Cassius, ears ringing as Amicus's deep voice bellows over me. Meanwhile, Cato just lounges on his bed, listening. Or maybe not.
I'll make this very clear right now. You are never to lay a paw on him, or give him orders of any kind.
And if I do, brother?
Amicus's fur starts to lay flat on his shoulders again as he shrugs.
I'll punch you.
What? You can't do that! We're not pups anymore!
And if you call him it again, I'll do the same.
Cassius seems to choke for a moment.
What in the world has gotten into you, Amicus?
He looks at the older wolf.
Cato?
Yes, Cassius?
Well, do something! He can't threaten me like that!
Amicus, be nice to your brother. Anyway, if you two are finished, then be off to your studies. Don't be late this time, Amicus. Your tutor complained again last week. That's today? You know, you should take care to start paying more attention. After seeing what you accomplished, I'm starting to lean toward trials in making my decision.
I forgot that it's my study day, so I will be gone for a little while. I'm going to ask Alexios to show you around and give you something to do while I'm away. Then I'm left alone with the cat. I feel an odd sense of loneliness at seeing Amicus just leave like that. It's like my mother just dropped me off at preschool or something. He's the only one that's been treating me like an actual person, mostly at least. I hear the small sound of someone clearing their throat behind me.
Hello.
Chapter 5. A Conversation Between Pets.
Hello.
The small cat smiles at me pleasantly, his paws clasped neatly in front of himself. I say he's small, but he's really about the same height as me. It's just odd seeing another alien that's my size, when I always have to look up at these wolves. Hi. I see Alexios' left eye twitch, and he raises a paw to his head.
Oh dear, this is going to be an interesting day.
Is something wrong? More twitching.
Just my lingua. It will take a while to learn your language, but it gets better the more you speak. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to know more about you. I'm very curious.
Amicus told me to act dumb, so I try to figure out how I might do that. I fix a distant look on my face. Far away. Alexios blinks, then giggles.
Oh.
We both stand there awkwardly for a moment before he gestures at the table.
Well, why don't we have a seat? We eat their leftovers when they've finished.
The cat moves over to sit on Cato's bed, reaching out for his own small plate. I'm reminded of how hungry I am, so I quickly do the same, choosing to sit on Cassius's bed since Amicus's is covered in wine.
Will this food agree with your stomach?
I think so. It actually looks kind of like some of the stuff I eat back home. I mean, it's basically olives, bread, and meat. I point to each of the dishes. Alexios puts his paw back up to his head.
Oh my, so many words, and in full sentences too.
I freeze. I don't really know what this food is. I'm just guessing.
No, I mean, it's your words. So many of them, and in complete complex sentences.
Fuck, I am bad at this.
I guess the wolves uplifted intelligence a lot more back then.
Oh, maybe. I wonder if I've ruined our plan already. But Alexios doesn't seem alarmed, just curious. So I turn my attention back to the food. There isn't much left on the table. The meat was mostly cleaned off the bones by Cato. Next to it are 4 slices of bread and the bowl of olives. Alexios starts on the poultry, working at it with his claws until it comes apart in 2 pieces with a loud tearing sound. He hands me 1/2.
You should be able to find a little meat on there.
I take it from him, trying not to show my disappointment. Then he puts 2 slices of bread on a plate and slides it toward me before taking the remaining 2.
Make sure to use the cheese. The bread is a bit bland without it.
I pull a few thin strips of meat off the bone and taste it. It's good. Really, really good. And I quickly search the bone for more. But there isn't much at all.
Hungry?
I look up and see Alexios delicately picking at his own half of bird. Yeah. Haven't eaten in a few days.
Oh, really? Why not?
The trip here was a bit rough. I guess I did eat on the ship, but it wasn't very filling.
Oh, like the protein sludge they have. Yeah, that stuff is quite terrible. I can understand why you're hungry. Well, you won't have to worry.
Why not?
We eat dinner with our masters in their rooms. Amicus always serves himself very large portions, and also sneaks me my own food since Cassius doesn't take much himself.
Alexios slowly spreads cheese onto his bread.
He will take good care of you in that respect.
With the mention of Amicus, I start to feel a bit lonely again. Actually, something I've noticed is that the whole palace seems to be lonely. So, where is everyone? Alexios chews thoughtfully on his bread. I try to think of a way to phrase things stupidly, then give up as I decide he already knows I'm able to form complex sentences. This palace doesn't seem to have very many people around.
Oh, well, do you expect others to be here?
Well, I guess like servants or guards or some other officials?
Most needs in the palace are covered by artificial intelligence and drones. Same goes for the palace defense. I suppose it may be different where you're from, but the siblings learned long ago that the fewer sapients you have in a location that needs to be secure, the better. You and I are an exception.
The bread tastes like literal chalk, so I decide to spread a little bit of the cheese on it despite the smell. To my surprise, it's salty and creamy and not bad at all. The smell is hard to ignore though. So, what is the point of having a pet then?
Amicus didn't tell you?
Well, he did. He just mentioned status and stuff. Is there any other reason? Why do we have to do stuff for them if they have robots that can do it instead?
Status is the main reason, yes. Our duty is to be by their side during public appearances, or in official meetings. Obviously, having an artificial sapient doing the same isn't impressive at all. We don't really have to do anything manual in the palace, but Cassius likes the idea of a sapient being his servant. He says it reminds him of the old days.
I see. Amicus told me that I don't really have to do anything for him, except brush his fur.
Ah, yes. Amicus is very meticulous about that.
Do you know him well?
Fairly well. I've been here for a few months now, so I've had my fair share of interactions with him even though Cassius doesn't like it.
I see. What do you think of him?
I think that you're very lucky to have a master like Amicus.
Why's that?
Well, Amicus is very kind. Sometimes he tries to be all official and assertive, and he likes to tease me, but he comes off as more open, whether he intends to or not.
This is all compared to Cassius, of course. I think for a moment. Do you not like being Cassius's pet? There's a pause, though Alexios continues to smile.
Cassius is very specific about how he wants to be talked to and such, but this is a great quality for a prospective emperor to have for sure. But in casual conversation, it's much easier to talk to someone like Amicus.
I take a sip of the wine, and as far as I can tell, it's similar to the few times I've had it on Earth. He has been really nice to me, at least after the whole kidnapping thing.
He is a very nice person. He just tends to not think everything through.
Alexios' eyes flick to look behind me before he focuses back on my face.
Understand that normally we shouldn't speak so candidly about our masters. This is just a conversation between pets.
Oh, yeah, I understand. There's a moment of silence that goes on just long enough to be uncomfortable.
Yes, I thought you would. I have to say that you're extremely perceptive, almost on the same level as a sibling.
I wince internally as Alexios points out my intelligence again. It only took me 10 minutes to fail my one and only job. Alexios smiles at me again.
Ah, was I not supposed to know that?
Apparently, he's perceptive as well.
Don't worry. Like I said, this is between pets.
Alexios leans in conspiratorially.
I don't just blab everything I know to my master. I'm simply his servant, not spy.
He leans back again.
Though he might wish I was. But honestly, it's really nice to be able to talk to someone other than my superiors. Amicus was the only one to treat me as an equal, but Cassius usually keeps our contact minimal.
I put the last bit of bread into my mouth, and as soon as I do, Alexios sits up.
Come, we're finished.
Yes, Alexios.
I watch with fascination as the dishes levitate off the table and float away through the archway they originally came through.
Do you want to go outside? Like I said, there's not much to do, but the gardens do require a more sapient touch to keep them presentable.
Yeah, sure. I brush crumbs off of my jeans and stand up. I'm still hungry, but the amount that I have eaten has taken the edge off of it, at least. I follow Alexios quietly through the halls, really enjoying the architecture of the palace for the first time. We enter the main hall, and Alexios stands in the sunlight pouring in through the archways.
Ah, aren't the mornings beautiful here? This is the best time to do work in the gardens. I'd say we have a good 3 hours before it gets too hot.
We start walking out into the gardens when I'm suddenly struck by something odd. So, you just said we have 3 hours.
Yes?
Well, how long is an hour here?
The same.
Oh. We use the same minutes and hours and stuff? That didn't seem possible. Alexios thinks, rubbing the spot above his left eyebrow.
Well, the lingua is a complicated device. It's parental tech, so it's something that we don't really understand at all. But what we do know is that it translates language in a way that offers the best understanding possible for the host.
Alexios crouches by a pillar, examining the ivy growing around its surface.
I used a measurement of time specific to the wolves and their language, and the lingua simply translated it to a measurement you'd better understand.
The small cat chuckles.
It's something I've given up on understanding myself. It's not perfect and can create really confusing situations, especially when it comes to certain words and numbers.
Oh. I see Alexios single out a small white flower growing at the base of the pillar before he plucks it out and sets it to the side. I start to wonder if I should maybe learn the language. The lingua is impressive and all, but it doesn't seem like it's very specific. Alexios grins.
Don't think too much about it. Just try to remember that that doesn't mean everything actually is the same. There are 19 hours in a day on Adastra, which I imagine is at least somewhat different compared to your own planet. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is pulling up some weeds. The drones do a good job of watering and pest control, but they often miss smaller weeds like these.
I crouch at the pillar next to Alexios, searching through the ivy for weeds to pull at the base. So, there are 19 hours in a day here?
Yes.
That's a bit shorter than back home.
Oh, I get that. There are 30 hours in a day where I'm from. You get used to it after a few weeks, though. I prefer it, actually.
I turn my attention back to the pillar and suddenly find myself staring right at a strange, crab-like thing sticking to the stone. At first I wonder if it's a carving of some kind, since it's so big. But as I look closer, it moves, and I realize that it's a massive living spider. The next thing I know, I'm rolling away from the pillar, action movie style, before popping back up to my feet. Oh my god!
What is it?
A spider thing! I'm standing a good 10 feet away from the pillar now, but I can still see the massive spider, its thick legs fanned out to the width of a clock. I shiver.
Oh, I see.
I stare at him.
How is that funny? I'm sorry. They are very startling when you first encounter them.
Alexios walks up to the spider and starts making shooing motions at it. Even from here, I can see its black, beady eyes. It doesn't move at all, choosing to sit motionlessly on its pillar.
Adastrian arachnids and insects are disturbingly large compared to the ones on my home moon.
I look around, suddenly feeling like I'm in danger, imagining giant wasps descending from the skies. Alexios starts to look more frustrated as the spider refuses to be intimidated by his limp-wristed swipes.
Nothing in the gardens is dangerous, though, and they're needed to balance the ecosystem. This creature's venom is far too mild to cause much more than an itchy bump, if it bites at all.
Alexios gives another weak swipe at the spider, and it takes the opportunity to bolt up his arm so fast that it becomes a blur before stopping on his face. For a moment, we both stand there in shock as it clings to him like a facehugger. Then,
By God, get him all!
he dances around in place for a moment as I simply watch in fascinated horror. Finally, he shakes his head hard, and the spider runs down his front to scuttle across the ground and into some bushes. Alexios heaves for breath for a moment, trembling. Despite myself, I have to laugh in amazement at what I just saw.
Why are you laughing?
Sorry, it's just so surprising and you were so sure of yourself until... I chuckle again.
Well, it surprised me.
He shivers, rubbing his shoulders.
There's honestly nothing to be afraid of when it comes to those, but it was right on me. And the way they move.
He shudders again.
And you just stood there and watched.
I mean, what could I have done? If that had happened to me, I would have jumped in the pond. Alexios sighs, and I see his fur start to flatten down again. Then he also chuckles.
Well, I was about to. Anyway, let's get back to work. If you see another spider, just work around it.
For the next hour, we move from pillar to pillar, cleaning up the unwanted weeds. I'm way more vigilant now, checking every pillar for spiders before we start. Luckily, we don't come across any more. After a while, we finally sit on a bench under some trees, and Com floats out a few platters of tiny pastries that remind me of quiches. Those are followed by glasses of cold, green, vegetable-tasting drinks. It's delicious. So, can I ask where you're from?
Very far away, even further than your home.
What brought you here? The cat sighs and pauses with a pastry halfway to his mouth.
It's a bit complicated, but I was here as a sort of ambassador. I arrived just as the stretch drive depletion occurred.
What was that? Alexios shrugs.
Well, for whatever reason, the Romanovs stopped supplying the wolves with stretch drive power when the Emperor died. They're starbound right now, so they can't shuttle me back to my planet. The situation between the wolves and their parents is worrying, and we don't know how long the wolves will be without the stretch. So my people sent their own ship to retrieve everyone on Adastra, but I, missed it.
Missed it? Alexios frowns, looking embarrassed again.
Well, I slept in and missed the departure.
Wow, really?
I mean, it happens to the best of us, no?
I guess. Why didn't they wait for you? That's kind of messed up that they'd just leave.
When using stretch tech, time is important. Everything runs on a specific schedule, so if you miss it, you miss it. And they're certainly not going to send another one out for one person.
Wow. Didn't you have an alarm clock or someone to wake you?
Trust me, it was a series of many unfortunate events that led to that happening. The main one being that even though I woke up with enough time to reach the starport, I got lost in Adastra City's terrible public transportation system. I was running from platform to platform, wolves all around me trying to touch me because they've never seen a cat before, and I could barely read the signs because, well, for my species, water comes from the eyes when we're stressed, so...
Oh, you were crying?
You know what that is?
Yeah, my species does it too. He looks away, and I can see the insides of his ears turn red.
Ah, I did not know that. It's a shared trait among us and the wolves, but I don't know many others that do it, aside from the Chamians. Anyway, I eventually decided to use my situation to continue my work and build a relationship with the Imperial family. So I became Cassius's pet.
Alexios' situation doesn't sound all that different from mine, even though the reasons for us getting here were very different. When does the next ship come? Alexios shrugs.
Years, at least one a decade, but sometimes more. I'm hoping within the next few years, though.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's not the worst life, and the wolves treat me well enough. We do have a special relationship.
With Cassius?
Between us and the wolves. Unlike the other siblings, our parents originated in the same galaxy. Though our views are very different, there's a bond there.
Alexios brushes his paws together.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Come, we're finished.
And with that, the platters and glasses float away. I'm starting to get used to all of this.
But Marco, was it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I guess we skipped introductions. You already know me as Alexios, but you can call me Alex.
Hello, Alex.
Hello, Marco. So, now that we're no longer pretending that you're not so sapient anymore, where are you from? Tell me about yourself.
That gives me some pause. While he's been really nice to me so far, I know I can't just reveal everything to Alex, so I settle on being vague like he was. Well, I'm from far away, but less far away than you. I'm a primate.
I see. Are you important among your people?
No, I'm just a student.
Oh. Do you know why Amicus chose you then?
I think he just chose me at random. I just happened to be where the uplift occurred. Alexios blinks, then laughs.
That's just like Amicus.
Yeah, it is actually.
But I guess it makes sense to choose a commoner if he wants to unite the abandoned children again.
Oh yeah? I decide that shifting the conversation away from me is a good tactic for now.
Yeah. Didn't he explain that to you?
Maybe a little. He didn't tell me all that much.
Don't take it personally. Amicus doesn't often think ahead. Right now, the wolves are in a bit of a strange situation. Again, this is between you and me, but they've fallen behind the other siblings in terms of spread and resources. The main reason being that they don't uplift their children to similar intelligence levels as themselves.
Intelligence levels? I thought they just spread their culture. Alex frowns at me.
You don't know? I guess you were abandoned, but you should know that your intelligence, every child's intelligence, was uplifted by a sibling.
Oh. No, I guess we lost that bit of information.
Well, that's not the end of their problems. These children are indentured servants in a way. In exchange for having their intelligence, mostly uplifted, they have to serve the Empire until the debt is repaid.
That doesn't sound good. Oh, and how long has that been going on?
Well, let's just say that the first successfully uplifted wolf children haven't quite finished repaying their debt.
That sounds like slavery. Alex glances at me.
It does, doesn't it?
That's confusing to me. But if they have all these robots and stuff, why do they need sapiens to be their slaves?
Advanced artificial sapients are gifted by the parents. We can't build them. We're a bit spoiled here in the palace, but outside not so much. And even then, artificial sapience isn't perfect, and likely never will be. Actual thinking machines don't exist. This is why uplifting children to the same intelligence level as a sibling is important. Good ideas can come from anywhere.
I guess your people don't do what the wolves do?
No, we uplift our children as much as we can. This practice is isolated to the wolves. They're seen by the other siblings as harsh on their own children, and the rights of sapients in general.
I see. I'm starting to see the wolves, and even Amicus, in a whole new light. As if reading my mind, Alex goes on.
But things are changing. Amicus choosing you as his pet shows that he sees you as close to an equal. But then there's Cassius.
Alex's tail swishes around on the bench between us.
He'd rather things stay the same, or even regress. That's why he's made a strong challenge against Amicus. There are many wolves who are unsure of the change Amicus suggests, and the proposed alliance between the wolves and the Chamians is only adding to it.
Chamians?
They're another sibling species, the most powerful in the galaxy, in fact. But that worries a lot of people here. There hasn't been a war between siblings in over 100 years, but the last one was between the Chamians and the wolves. You can imagine what sort of problems that might create. So Cassius, wanting the wolves to stay independent and in complete control of their children, is rather popular. You might wonder why I'm telling you this, but I want you to understand the empire that you're in. It will make it easier to navigate.
I was in fact wondering why he's telling me all of this. Does he have some other motive that he's not telling me? I look over at him. Do you want Cassius to become emperor?
I like that we can discuss a lot of things, and being a sibling allows me to have more freedom than most, but that's one thing that I should probably keep silent on.
That only confuses me more, but it doesn't sound like he's on Cassius' side. Maybe Amicus and I could find an ally in him. Well, I think I would prefer Amicus if his whole thing is to treat other sapiens equally. From what I can tell, that seems to please Alex.
Well, we'll find out soon enough after the trials.
Alex's mood suddenly brightens.
But anyway, I've really been enjoying our time together today. Like I said, it's so nice to be able to talk to someone who isn't my superior. I hope we can do this often while you're here.
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful.
Alex raises a paw to look up at the sun. At Vita.
We should keep working. It's starting to get too hot out here.
For the next several hours, we work around the garden before finally moving inside to walk around the palace a bit. He points to doors for things like the throne room and communal bath, but we never go inside, and he tells me I should only do so when I'm with Amicus. Eventually, we move back to the dining room, where Alexios suggests we watch the screens until our master's return. He says it will better acquaint me with the wolfish culture. It takes me a moment to realize that I'm watching a sort of film starring wolves similar to Amicus. They're acting out scenarios about traveling into space and finding more sapients. The sapient species they find are wolves in masks. I guess they don't really have CGI, because every effect looks practical. It's long, boring, and the acting is overly exaggerated, like they're in a silent film. Finally, after what seems like a good 3 hours, Alex tells me that Amicus will be returning soon, and that I might want to tidy up his room before he gets back. I'm relieved to cut the film short, and Alex and I part ways to go to our respective rooms. I'm surprised to see that it's already dark outside. Even with the shorter day, I guess mindlessly watching wolves overacting to other wolves in masks took up more time than I thought. On my way through the marble halls, I pause every now and then to look at the large murals on the walls, depicting everything from wolves swimming to wolves swinging swords at other canines. In the Great Hall is the largest mural, and it depicts 5 wolves. The features are flat and lack any sort of perspective, making the muzzles look a bit askew. 2 larger wolves loom over the other 3. One is white with a feminine shape, while the larger of the 2 is black and holding his paw to his chest. Around his head is a wreath. Of the 3 smaller wolves, one is also clearly feminine, while another is white. I wonder if this might be Cassius and Virginia, which would leave the remaining wolf in the middle to be Amicus. He's skinnier, and I wonder if this might be him as a child or teenager. A glowing wreath floats above his head. I jump as someone clears their throat very loudly next to me. I turn around and find myself staring at Cato, the advisor. He looks me up and down for a moment. At least, I think he does. More silence. I open my mouth to respond, then remember what Amicus told me. I let my eyes unfocus and my mouth droop open a bit. Cato's ears twitch at the sound I make, then clears his throat again.
Hello, Marco, was it? How are you enjoying your first day in the palace?
I wonder if I should keep droning, or if I should at least answer the question. I am technically a sapient, so I suppose it's okay if I sort of understand. Good. The left side of Cato's scarred face twitches as he waits for more, but I don't give him anything.
Good. I trust that Alexios showed you around the palace. It's a bit of a stifling life behind these walls, but hopefully with time we will be able to take you out to the city.
I cross my eyes a little. Oh, I like it.
Yes. So, where are you from again, exactly?
There's something behind this wolf's words. Something there that's a little more than innocent curiosity. Big rock planet by star. Cato waits, and again I don't say anything more.
Do you have a name for the planet?
Yeah, big rock planet. Cato massages the left side of his forehead, looking a little bit annoyed.
Big rock planet?
With water. Cato stares.
So, big rock planet with water.
I nod dumbly. Cato sighs loudly and stalks off, not even bothering to end the conversation.
Wonderful. Now I have a headache.
And with that, he disappears around the corner. I decide that I did an okay job, as Cato seems to think that I'm a massive idiot. I make my way quickly to Amicus's room, glad to not run into anyone else. There isn't much to do. Amicus's room is spotless, so after meandering around and smoothing the bed covers over, I choose to sit down on the sofa and wait. Despite the fact that I've only been up for what's probably been 10 hours, I'm exhausted. Maybe I won't have any trouble adjusting to the shorter days. As I start to doze, there's a sudden clattering sound toward the door. I jump and see Amicus come in, wheeling in a tray with several plates on top of it, heaped high with food. He grins at me, and I get a feeling of relief at seeing him.
Hello. Sorry, I suppose Alex didn't tell you that they set these outside the door on the 15th hour. He treat you well?
Yeah, he was nice. Amicus wheels the cart up to the sofa, then flops back onto it next to me, making the whole thing shake.
That was a long day.
Are you okay? Amicus opens one eye at me.
Barely. Had to go over maths today, and my head feels as if it's going to explode. Didn't help that Balbus kept cracking me over the head with his stick when I answered wrong.
Wow, that sounds harsh.
Don't worry. It was nothing compared to the one you gave me.
Amicus smirks, and I can't help but smile back at his teasing. He seems to have become more comfortable around me with how relaxed he is. I am sorry about that.
Don't be. And stop apologizing for it. Now, let's wash and eat. My stomach's felt hollow since breakfast.
We both go to the restroom to rinse our hands, in the sink before heaping our plates with food. It's more of the same with bread and meat and olives, but there's also a good amount of other vegetables and fruit that I have a hard time identifying. Amicus shows me how to combine the fruit and cheese on the bread, and I find myself really starting to like the smelly spread, as long as I ignore the smell. Compared to breakfast, Amicus really wolfs down a lot of food. He probably ends up eating about 3 times as much as me. All the while, he tells me about his scary instructor and how he punishes him way more than Cassius. Well, does he usually get the answers right?
Well, yeah. But he should help me understand rather than smack my ears. That doesn't help anything unless he has the information in his stick and is bashing it into my brain somehow.
Don't worry, I hate math too.
Well, I'm better in other things, like literature and history. Ha! Cassius is hopeless at remembering battles.
Amicus flexes a bicep.
And he can forget about wrestling. He could never beat me in a fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
So yes, he can have the maths all he wants. The trials don't involve that anyway.
What are these trials you guys keep talking about? Amicus takes a big gulp of wine, gasping when he finally pulls the goblet away from his face.
What Cato is considering using to decide the next emperor. Essentially 3 trials. Music and dance, rhetoric, and finally, combat.
And whoever wins those becomes emperor?
Well, whoever wins 2 out of 3. Combat is last, so that if one of us wins the first 2, it won't come to that. I'm really just hoping that Cato chooses me in the next few days, now that he's seen you. But if the trials do happen, you have nothing to worry about.
Amicus grins at me confidently. I don't?
I'm better than Cassius in at least 2 of those things. Perhaps even music and dance.
You know, I'd believe you, but one thing I know about you is how, overly confident you are when it comes to certain things.
Why do you say that?
Our entire experience on the ship, maybe?
Well, that's different. I was doing something I didn't really understand. I understand my studies, aside from maths.
Amicus leans back finally, one paw on his stomach.
Anyway, how was your day? Did Alex show you around?
Amicus starts to grab the remaining food to set aside on its own plate. Yeah, I've realized that there isn't much to do.
Oh yeah, it was a bit of a bad day. I have tomorrow off from studies though, so we can do something entertaining.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Go swimming, go to the baths, talk, you name it. Maybe eventually we can go to the city too.
The city outside?
Well, everything's outside.
I mean, the one that I can see across the lake.
Yes, that one. Adastra City, the capital of our empire.
Oh, isn't it kind of small for that? I mean, it looks really nice, but it kind of just looks like an average-sized city. Amicus frowns.
I think it's quite large. How big are cities on Earth?
I shrug. I don't know. Pretty big? Millions of people. Amicus raises an eyebrow.
Millions?
Yeah. I wonder if the lingua is translating everything correctly. Why? How big is Adastra?
The city? Just over 5 million. The wolf population is 80 million.
Oh.
How many humans are there?
Like 7 billion. Amicus chokes.
What?
Is that a lot?
That's preposterous! Do you not have population control measures put in place?
Well, not in most places. Amicus shakes his head.
Well, you are parentless, so I guess it makes sense your species might be so misguided?
Amicus seems to try very hard to choose the last word, even though he's still being very condescending. He seems to notice my annoyance, though.
Well, is your species doing well? Is your planet able to sustain such a population?
Sort of? I guess there are problems. Amicus strokes his chin.
Well, I suppose when I become emperor, I could ask the parent about your species. The whole thing is a real mystery, but it's clear that we must have overlooked your people somehow.
He smiles at me.
Maybe we could even bring you into our fold again.
Whoa, hang on a second. Images of Roman spaceships descending from the heavens to enslave the human race, all because of me, flash through my mind. You know, Alex told me about what you do to the other sapients. It doesn't sound like something humans would want to be a part of.
What did he tell you?
The whole enslavement thing?
Enslavement?
What you do to your children.
Well, that's a harsh word for it.
No, it's the right word. Humans have done the whole indentured servant thing back on Earth, and it never turned out well for the servant. Amicus's ears go down a bit. And as misguided as humans might be, we've at least abolished slavery. I notice Amicus's ears turning red. Maybe he never expected to be lectured on ethics by a human.
Well, I do mean to change things a bit when I become emperor.
A bit?
I mean, things can't just be changed all at once, it has to be gradual.
Amicus flicks his tail in annoyance at me.
Listen, I agree with you. We've been trying to change the way we've treated our children for generations. My grandfather and father both worked towards this.
Well, while that's messed up and definitely wrong, I think the intelligence thing might be even worse.
What intelligence thing?
The grimace on Amicus's face tells me that he might already know the answer. The way you stunted intelligence in the children you uplifted? Amicus is silent for a moment. I can tell that all of this is making him very uncomfortable. I have to ask myself again how I got to this point, sitting on a sofa debating ethics with a prospective Emperor Wolf. He finally folds his arms and huffs.
Again, I agree with you on all of this. I don't like the way we've treated our children. In the end, I truly feel that becoming a more compassionate and united empire will lead to a better outcome for everyone. It's going to take small steps, but understand that it's something I mean to fix. And stop saying you like I did it. I was born into this.
I've come to realize how much of an open book Amicus is as a person, so I don't doubt his words. Well, as long as Cassius doesn't become emperor. Amicus snorts.
Not a chance.
Well, if he does, it sounds like he's going to reverse all of that.
And I'm saying there's no chance of it. Wait, how much has Alex been telling you?
It was a short conversation. I asked him about the Empire. I didn't, but I don't want to get Alex in trouble in case he wasn't just supposed to tell me. Cassius seems like a terrible person, by the way. And I'm not just talking about his personality. He wants to keep people enslaved.
It's complicated. He's just very traditional, but again, there's no chance.
I sigh at the wolf's overconfidence, but he does know his brother far better than I do. Well, I'm at least glad that I'm behind the right wolf in getting myself home.
The right wolf?
Yeah, I can't imagine being under your brother. Amicus glances at the plate he'd been building with food.
Speaking of, I'm going to bring this to Alex in the garden. Did you want to accompany me?
I run a hand through my hair, feeling the griminess from 2 days of no shower. Actually, can I use the shower while you're gone? I feel kind of gross.
Oh, yeah, sure. Just step in and it starts up. There's a screen on the wall that controls temperature. It has a color spectrum that you can drag a finger across and...
I'll figure it out.
Ah, right. Well, I should be back by the time you're finished.
And with that, Amicus balances his plate of food in his paws as he strides out of the room, leaving me to go into the bathroom. I quickly use the toilet again, suddenly glad that I don't have to use a public toilet like the ones I'd seen drawings of in my Roman history books. The shower is easy enough to understand, and the water is immediately warm and pleasant, so I don't have to bother with the temperature. There are several glass bottles of soap, so I choose the one that smells the best and give myself a quick wash. When I'm done, I grab a towel off the wall and dry off before wrapping it around my waist. I think about putting my clothes back on, but the idea of stepping back into that underwear has me hesitating. Instead, I open the door, and am greeted to the sight of Amicus sitting on the edge of the bed, looking off to the side, a paw in his lap holding a brush. His head snaps in my direction before he immediately averts his eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to see. I thought you'd be dressed.
Hey, it's fine. I've got a towel on. Slowly, Amicus turns his gaze back to me, eyes drifting down my torso before immediately snapping back up again.
Oh, I thought you hated any sort of nudity.
Not really. Just the genitals. Even then, I don't hate it. It's just more private.
Ah.
Amicus seems to be staring at me, and I start to feel a little self-conscious. Is everything okay? Amicus looks away again.
Sorry, I'm just not used to seeing you like that. I've only seen humans with clothing, so I just sort of imagined you to always be that way.
Well, my clothes are dirty, so I was going to ask you about maybe getting some clean ones? At least until you can get me that tailor.
Oh, of course. Com, send us some robes from storage. Children's robes, please.
Yes, Amicus.
Thanks.
Of course.
I stand there awkwardly for another few seconds, until Amicus seems to snap back to reality again. He holds up the brush.
Anyway, I thought maybe you'd like to be groomed too. I feel it's only fair after what you did for me.
Oh, well, it's only on my head.
All the easier for me then.
Amicus grins. Well, alright. I walk over to the bed and sit with my back to the wolf. Amicus adjusts his seating to face me more directly, then starts to run the brush gently through my hair. We sit in silence for a bit, and I start to enjoy the feeling of the brushing, especially the way the firm bristles run across my scalp, giving me shivers up and down my neck.
Sorry for talking so much earlier. I'm not used to being able to talk to someone. The palace is a bit lonely, so having a friendly conversation with someone other than Com is a bit of a novelty.
Amicus chuckles.
That was probably why I was having so much trouble focusing on my studies today. I was so excited to come back home and speak with you.
Hearing that makes me feel a little bad for the wolf. I suppose being the prospective emperor doesn't allow you to have many friends, and being in such an empty palace definitely seems lonesome. I guess this is why Alex told me basically the same thing. You're fine, and I didn't mean to be too harsh earlier. I know it's not your fault.
No, I think we're on the same page on that one. All the more reason to unite against Cassius, eh?
Oh, as if he'd forgotten something, Amicus's other paw comes around my side, and on his palm I see 2 purple grapes.
I managed to snatch a few of those off of Alexios' earring. He wasn't too happy about that. What one?
Seriously? I take one, more out of being nice to Amicus than anything, but when I bite into it, I can't help but notice how juicy and sweet it is. Amicus talks to me with the grape in his mouth.
I don't know why, but his grape earring always tastes the best. By the way, if you don't mind, I invited Alex to our outing tomorrow. Cassius is going to be away to do some speeches, and is leaving Alex behind for once.
Of course not. We got along really well. I lean my head back, allowing the wolf to continue the brushing.
Your fur, hair, you call it? It's not like a wolf's fur, but it's rather nice.
I smile. Thank you, Amicus.
If you'd like, I can do this for you every day. I feel that's fair.
I have to admit that I really like this, so I accept. Yeah, sure. It feels really nice. I hear some thumping sounds, and I imagine it's Amicus's tail wagging against the bed. So washing you, brushing you, and making you smell nice are all of my duties?
Well, that and accompanying me to important meetings and public outings, but all you do during those is stand there and look civilized.
Yeah, that's what you all keep telling me. This all seems pretty easy.
Though, there is one thing you can do for me before I go to bed.
What?
Well, a full-body massage.
I look over my shoulder at him.
Or we can just stick with the other duties.
I laugh, and Amicus' ears come back up. He continues to brush for a while longer before finally setting it aside.
There. Looks much better now.
I gently run a hand over my hair, and I have to agree that it feels softer than it's ever felt before.
But anyway, Marco, I am looking forward to these months ahead with you, even though we started off a bit poorly.
I look back at the wolf, at his earnest but tentative smile. He's definitely a man of contradictions. Rash half of the time, but considerate most of the time. I'm not sure what to make of him, but at this point I feel like I can at least trust him, and that's saying a lot after what he put me through. I smile back. Yeah, me too.